Hello guys, it's Jake from Watch for Tactical, and today I have the very special Tokyo Marui EVOLT, the recoil shock version. Okay, this is a brand new product. It's just come in from Tokyo Marui. Okay, and we've had the non-recoil version that landed earlier on in the year, and now we finally have hands on the recoil version as well. All right, I've been massively excited for this. I'm a massive TM fan. I'm going to try to remain non-biased, okay, all the way throughout it. However, I am definitely having one of these already, no shadow of a doubt. This is a whole new system, okay? So if you don't know about this weapon, very similar to the NGRS, the Tokyo Marui recoil systems, okay? This is a new, enhanced version of that. So everything's different, which I know has caused a lot of controversy across people. The mags are different, the batteries are different, everything, okay? The whole way that the hop system works is totally proprietary, and it's designed to be more consistent and give better shots, all right? So what we're going to do is we're going to unbox it. We're going to have a look. We'll give it a test fire, and we'll break it down a little bit to have a look at the parts, stuff like that. We're not going to strip the whole thing down, partly because I am terrified in putting one of these things together yet, all right? So it comes in this nice little bag that you can see, and it has the Tokyo Marui sticker on the side for the reseal on there. But we don't care about that. Let's get rid of that. And when you slide it out, you've got this really nice kind of metallic box. It's like a steel finish kind of box, right? Tokyo Marui, again, love to put a lot of effort into their products, and it shows with this one as well. Now, a lot of you can see that this is actually quite small for a rifle. So it comes in two parts, which is really nice as well. It tells you across the bottom here all the parts about it. So this is the FPR Mark IV. It has a electric powered, obviously, internals. The MS LiPo, which is the new LiPo battery that Tokyo Marui is pushing. It's Cerakoted, and obviously it's high quality for the customers, right, as they say on their boxes. On the sides here, again, you've got the EVOLT markings, everything else. This side around here, again, you can see the same thing. And again, the EVOLT markings on there, all right? Now, the way their box is normally open is just lift up on the top. So we're going to do that. Open the top, shimmy it off, quite a snug fit, which is lovely. You want a nice, decent protective box. On the inside, you've got their packing foam that molds around the weapons as well. You also have a little manual here, which has got all the bits inside there for the EVOLT. Covers both versions by the looks of it, so the standard version and the recoil shot version. And a bunch of targets and warning symbols, all in Japanese, so that's great. It gives me practice to learn it. I'm going to drop that down. Okay, then we have the actual airsoft weapon itself, okay? Looks stunning. Obviously, it's just plain black. He's probably thinking, what is it? Why it's so special, okay? I like the fact that it's come in two parts. I think that's interesting. It's different. And it also has, which you can see on here, and I'll open it up now so you can see, it has a cover on the top of the internals here on the lower part of the receiver. And it also has one of those on the top receiver too, just to cover it on their EVOLT markings and everything. The reason why they've done this is you can buy the EVOLT part separate and the recoil and non-recoil top. So if you don't want to use the recoil, or let's say you wanted the non-recoil initially when it came out and you want to now go for the recoil, not a problem. You buy the top part separate. I'm not sure when that's available, but it will be coming out in due course. It might already be available. And you can just take the top receiver off and swap it out. You now have the recoil. Or that's so I'm led to believe, right? Which is quite an interesting concept, which I think is a good way to do things, especially with Tokyo Marui. Again, it means as well, if parts break, you're not going to have to fork out the whole cost of the weapon. You should be able to just buy the top parts and maybe even the lower parts separately later down the line, which would be nice to see. You've got this nice modern M-LOK rail with a few bits of Picatinny on it, okay? Again, this is the FPR style front rail. It's nicely kitted. It's all metal, complete metal all the way through. It is Cerakote again. It's just a nice finish on there. And the bolt here has like a more detailed slide there. It's got a bit of a better groove to it. And you can just see a little bit of the inner workings of the hop unit as well. But I will zoom in a little bit for this so you can see. You then also have the, again, the lower part here, the lower receiver, which has no markings on the side. I'm going to hazard that, or put a guess that that's down to the current situation with trademarks absolutely everywhere, and TM coming under a little bit of flack from that. You've got the nice little warning label around there being about motor, magnets and everything else, okay? And the stock, which is where obviously the battery goes. Here now, instead of having the SOPMOD style battery, we've got this new MS LiPo connector, all right? I believe that Laylax are currently doing an adapter for that too, which enables you to just swap that straight to Dean's, which is great because the batteries are pricey and expensive and only hold 800 milliamp, which isn't a lot of power, especially if you're playing outdoors all day. You're going to be swapping batteries around quite a lot. Feels nice, feels sturdy. We'll take that a bit apart and put it all together in a second. We then also have the mags. So looking at the mags here, you can see it's got this new kind of rounded edge at the top, which is actually quite traditional for normal style magazines in the real world. Okay, they're slightly tapered at the top, which gives it's easier for loading that mag in. Obviously, airsoft mags are quite rigid edged, okay, rigid edged, if you'd like to say, and they can often get caught on things, especially mag pegs and stuff like that. The real world, they're actually quite lipped on the side. They're bowed over, so they kind of curve in a little bit. However, you do have a massive protruding kind of feed lip at the top, which I'm not a huge fan of the design, if I'm being completely honest. And it probably is a bit more awkward, obviously being a whole new mag system. There's not really many counterparts for these yet, or counterfeit parts, I say, or cloned copies and stuff like that for the Tokyo Marui mag at the moment. There is also a little notch at the back here, and you can say auto stop is set to on and off, and you can turn that back so you can have auto lock and obviously take that feature off if you don't want it to happen. You want to dry fire and everything else, okay, which is quite nice. Before, obviously, you'd have to constantly hold the bolt down while you're firing. Again, the MP5s you'd have to put into the dry fire setting, okay, which is a little bit of a pain. So it's nice to see that on there. It's a metal mag as well. It feels really weighty, feels really good. Apparently, the design of the feed lips into the hop unit is now supposed to give consistent air pressure, airflow between every shot, whereas in the past, as you lose the tension of the mag, the tension on the hop unit and the air seal from the hop unit can differ, leading to having inconsistency in shots, FPS, all this rest of the stuff, right? So all the science behind it, which for these is quite nice to see that. And then you've also got the little box of goodies. You've got a muzzle cover, some feed lips there for your speed loader, what looks like a hop tool or a tightening tool, some BBs, some Allen keys, and a couple of grub screws, which I'm not sure what they're for, but I'm sure we'll find that out soon. Cool. Right, so what we'll do, we'll have a little look, we'll put it together, show you guys again how this thing sits in together with itself, and then we can get it on the range and give it a fire. Okay. So we have our EVOLT right here, and what we're going to do now is look at putting it together. Obviously taking the little covers off there. Now, I haven't done this before, so I apologise if I'm a little bit fumbly because it is brand new, not seen it at all. So pins for the front, you've got a little pin here, we're going to pop that pin out, okay, and I bet we have to probably do the rear pin as well. So pop the rear pin. You don't have to take them all the way out, I don't believe. There we go, we just do with the top. That has got some nice little markings on there again, Tokyo Marui, made in Japan, airsoft use only. Nice little cover if you are transporting these and you want to keep them from getting damaged. And here we get a little look at the internals, okay, so we can see here what looks to be like the cut-off lever essentially for that bolt release catch as well, which is quite nice there, really snappy as well. Now it is made out of pot metal, so hopefully these things don't snap or sear. We have seen that happen on a few of the NGRSs before. You can see the inner cogs there, looks well greased, nice and clean grease as well, which is good. You can see the wiring through the back as well, obviously onto the buffer tube, so for the recoil shock there, that's your counterweight that obviously runs through into the back of the stock as well. All right, well, it looks quite well built, it's nice. I don't want to take too much more apart, obviously. I don't really want to I don't want to be stripping this whole thing down. They're so new yet, I need to really get my head into it and have a look from there. You can see also there's another little bit on the mag here. There's a button just inside the mag well, which pushes back and forth, which will have some function somewhere, probably to do with obviously mag detection, things like that, to let you know if it isn't obviously got if it hasn't got a mag in there. Okay, I'm going to put that down that way just so I don't want to bend those pins. We're now going to also look at the top part. So very similar again, this is just giving you a little bit more of a close-up on it. Everything is full metal, really nice, well machined as always, exactly what you'd expect. I like the colour of the barrel nut that's on the inside there as well. It's a nice little touch. It really suits the weapon. And the bolt, if you can see it, the steel plate on the side, I know obviously it's just to pretend, but you can actually see here it's got this nice groove in it. It has a bit of depth to it compared to just normally it's a flat plate that sits over the top that doesn't have any function. The bolt assist as well, the forward assist, it's really quite strong. It has a very strong feel on that. So I wonder if it actually has some kind of function to it. Probably not, but it'd be nice if it did. So what we'll do, we'll take off the rear pin. So don't think obviously we're going to need this pin after. It's just a placeholder pin. Looks like it twists and then pulls out. It does. So it twists, locks into place just there, and then it pulls out. And here we can see top part of the weapon, he says. I don't want to break this. I don't know if it just pulls off or hooks over the top. I'm going to hazard a guess to say it just pops off. Yeah, it does. Just two little indentations on there. It just slides off. Now we get to look here at what we can see for the new working parts and internals, right? So a couple of screws here holding all the top receiver in place. You can see here that the bolt arm has a little latch to it there, which seems to probably operate alongside the working parts on here to operate that bolt release as well, which is quite nice. Spring all in the back there. It looks like a bit of a narrower spring than the usual like M10, M100 spring, that type of thing. It looks a little bit thinner. And here you can see the whole of the hop unit essentially. Excuse me. This is a whole new system, like I said before, and you can kind of get a little bit of look at how that works alongside the feed lips there on the top of this mag. So rather than creating tension from the mag itself to give tension onto the hop unit, which gives a good air seal, you get that from the new hop design, which is in here. It makes me a little bit nervous that if something goes wrong, I've got no idea what I'm looking at the moment, but I'm sure time will tell. There'll be loads of aftermarket parts, and it won't be long before new people start to get some, cloned replica stuff of this knocking about in the market. Like I say, Laylax have already made their lead for the back of this as well. It looks like the buffer tube, and it's hard to see here, so I'm trying to keep it all in frame, but this obviously looks like it does pull out. I'm not sure if it does, and it might need a bit of work and having a look at it all, but obviously that's your recoil rod, which I assume lines up with the weight that's in here. So as it fires, this rod should push out to create the recoil effect into the weapon. So it's interesting anyway, nonetheless, to take a look at it all and obviously get a little bit of eyes on. So I'm going to connect the front bit here forward first and lower the rear down. Now, just like a normal gas blowback, you could just leave the front bit in and not worry about having to pivot take the two pins out. You just pivot it forward if you wanted to, but I'm not too sure if that's how it's intended at the moment. I don't really want to be messing around too much and breaking anything on it. So there we go. The weight of it feels really nice. So what we'll do is we'll take this down to the range now, and we'll have a little fire with it. I will put some optics onto it. I will give it a little bit of Gucci up because well, why wouldn't we? I wanted to obviously fire quite nice, so I'm going to put some optics on there so I can have a little bit of shot on it, and then yeah, we'll go from there. So we'll give it a test fire. So we have our target now at roughly about 15 meters, 10 to 15 meters. We're at the Blackstone CQB site with Rift Airsoft, and we are on the range, and we are firing the TM EVOLT Recoil shocks. It's the new shock system. Okay, we're going to do roughly 10 shots at the target, and we're not looking for where they hit on the target, but just going to see the grouping roughly. Okay, and that will give us just an idea of again how this is performing. Full disclosure: we've turned the hop on probably just about a quarter. We're using 2s, nothing fancy. And it's brand new, so it's not bedded in, right? So you probably just benefit for this would be running a couple of mags through it to really see. And we can't see the full range because obviously, it's a CQB site. But what we will do is another video outdoors showing the range and performance on the weapon. Okay, so we're just going to try and do roughly 10 shots grouped together at the target as neat as we can. Okay. Now, obviously, we saw all the performance on that accuracy test there on the target, and I mean, we're talking probably about that big of a group, which is really good. That's very good for an airsoft weapon, especially again, something that's new, not really bedded in or had much use yet. So performance on that is really impressive. So we're going to do a little bit over the shoulder and then firing so you can see the recoil. Obviously, just take this with a pinch of salt because it's quite hard to see on the video. However, really impressed with the recoil. It feels a bit more than the previous. And it's literally like a laser. That recoil was very good. I don't know if you watched the video, and if you haven't, please check it out on the website or the channel for the SSQ4. And I mentioned that it hadn't gotten as much kick as an NGRS, and I feel like maybe I was not giving it enough credit. But firing this, you can definitely, not quite gas blowback, but it definitely has more recoil. Looking at the side, I'm going to do a bit of hip firing here, but you can see the bolt as well, just moving back and forth. Nothing, again, crazy, just enough to kind of signal that that obviously it's working. Now, I didn't have the auto stop feature on because I was doing a bit of dry firing before just to make sure. But if you do have that turned on, it will then obviously stop firing as well when the magazine is out of ammo. So for example, like that, there we go. The bolt stays back halfway, which is quite nice. And I have got the other NGRS, which is the standard TM416, which we'll do a little fire now just so you can see on recoil. Now this is no mods to it. This is just my own personal one. It's completely stock apart from the accessories. So it's just a nice little way for you to maybe see a little bit of that recoil again. So you saw the previous, and this one, for example, still got a decent amount of recoil, but nothing, I don't think, as much as and snappy as the EVOLT. They're both incredible and absolutely 100% fantastic guns, but the EVOLT, again, with the newer system, it'll be interesting to see how much that's firing at what distance out in the field. So we'll have a little look at that as well. Again, for me, I think that's absolutely fantastic. I mean, I'm a massive fan of TM. It's a lot of money, but it's going to be worth it, and I definitely would like to see how it performs outside. So if you want to see a little bit more on this, again, follow the channel, like and subscribe, comment below, and again, just stay tuned and we'll keep you updated.